as if they're going to vote away police genocide. The Democratic Party keeps on trying to influence black people to vote as if they're going to vote away miseducation. The Democratic Party keeps on influencing black people to vote as if they're going to vote into office economic opportunity or vote away gentrification. Okay? The Democratic Party has not produced a plan yet. The Democratic Party has not produced a plan yet. The Democratic Party has not produced a plan yet.
Okay. So I just want to show that video of Dr. Umar Johnson. This is somebody I watch very closely, somebody somehow I admire, but I think he is very wrong when it comes to voting. And I think his views on voting is dangerous for minorities. And I'll tell you why. So I'm just going to listen to most of the video and give my comment
to
about
deal with any of the major problems that affect black America. There's no plan for miseducation. There's no plan for gentrification. There's no plan for mass incarceration. There's no plan for access to wealth. There's no plan for police genocide. But you want people to vote. Vote for what? I would be honest with y'all. I would be absolutely honest with y'all. The most powerful thing black people could really do this election, the most powerful thing black people could really do this election was not vote at all. Let it be known that we will not be participating.
So basically, if they're not voting, what they're supposed to do? This is a democracy. They are part of a democracy. So if they're not voting, so what is or what are the alternatives? What you want them to do? See, they will take arm. So instead of being part of the democratic process, instead of telling them to educate themselves and to promote their issues, you tell them not voting. So this is a democracy. In a democracy, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The president is not a king. Whether it's President Obama or President Biden or whatever the president is, they're not a king. This is democracy. You have something that we call Congress. So whenever they want to do something, so Congress have to give their approval. So I'm going to let you continue listening to Dr. Umar. I think Dr. Umar is very eloquent. He has a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, a lot of issues, but I think it is too radical. And if some of us minorities listen to him, the way we will act will not be good for us. Let's continue listening.
Participating in the election at all. At all. Declare it to the country and hold your vote in your pocket. That is the most powerful thing you can do this year. That is the most powerful thing that you could do this year.
So I'm sorry, the video is freezing a little bit. I don't know
but
why.
Guess what? You guys are not going to do that because you have been brainwashed.
Unfortunately, the video have been freezing, and I would like to hear everything Dr. Umar Johnson has to say about voting. Unfortunately, we have some technical...
Washed into believing that the most effective use of your vote is to spend it on a cheap date. You have been brainwashed into believing the most effective usage of your vote is to spend it on a cheap date. got news for you. I got news for you. Black America is the Democratic Party's cheap prostitute. Black America is the Democratic Party's cheap prostitute. Black America is the Democratic Party's cheap prostitute. When they want to get some quick loving, whenever they want to get a quick back rub at the elections, whenever they want to get some quick cookies, you understand? When they want to get a quick lap dance and they only got $1 in their pocket, guess who the Democrats call up? When they want to get some quick loving, some quick political sex, quick back rub, quick feet rub, guess who the Democratic Party calls on? It calls on Black America. It calls on Black America. We are the cheap prostitutes of the Democratic Party, and we don't.
Black or Americans. As I'm speaking, you can't say I have an accent. I'm an American. I'm a naturalized American. So when the president or a candidate want to make policy, they don't make policy only for Black. They make policy for Americans. Of course, as minorities, we have to advocate for our policies. We have to advocate for what is good for us. For example, one of the issues is police brutality and, housing, like student loan, subsidized student loan. Those are minority issues. I'm sure Dr. Umar Johnson, when he went to college, he has some sort of loan. Whether it is subsidized or unsubsidized, he took some loan maybe. Or if not loan, he has some Pell Grant. So Democrats' views on Pell Grant and student loan, you have to compare that with the Republican. The Republican advocate to decrease the student loan. The Pell Grant. The Republican advocate to increase the interest rate, the interest rate on those loans that students have to take in order for them to go to school. Whether the student wants to go to a public school or a private school, some of them have to take some loan. The Republican want to cut that. And the Democrat advocate, to increase the Pell Grant and then to decrease the interest on those loans. So don't tell me as a minorities not to vote for Democrats. Of course, they are not perfect. Of course, in the Democratic Party, you have some individuals that are corrupt. Some of them, they have some special interest. That's part of democracy. So when you tell the minorities, whether you Black, Latinos, or whatever it is, not to vote, I think it is dangerous. This is a mistake, and this is a really dangerous when you tell a group of people not to participate in the democratic process. Because we cannot take arm. We have to vote. So, we have to continue voting. Maybe one day we're going to find somebody, that will defend our, what we are advocating for. So instead of saying minorities, go to school, educate yourself, get involved in politics, be a lawyer, learn to be a mathematician, biologist, or computer scientist. To educate yourself, you tell them not voting. I think this is a huge mistake on the part of Dr. Umar Johnson, whom I really like some of his views.
We don't even see it. We are the cheap prostitutes of the Democratic Party, and we don't even see it. The most effective thing you could do with your vote is keep it to yourself so they can see the impact.
But keep it to yourself for what? What you gonna do when you keep the vote to you, when you don't vote? What you gonna do? What are you going to do? What the minorities, what African American going to do when they don't vote? So they should not listen to you. They should vote. They should participate. They should choose somebody. Oh, unless if Black want to have a third party, somehow, like you as an intellectual, you have to either have a new party to attract them so that they can compete in a Democratic Party. And even you have a party, sometime you have to find a way to have a group on your side to vote with some group of people. Either way, you have to, if Democrat is close to us in terms of what we believe, we have to at least take the lesser of two evil. But not voting, I think it really, really wrong.
Of the absence of the black vote from the 2020 presidential election. You want to boycott the NBA, you want to boycott the NFL, but you don't want to boycott the United States electoral process. You want to boycott the NFL, you want to boycott the NBA, you want to boycott America's corporations, but when are you going to boycott the United States government itself?
So when you do that, what else you going to do, Dr. Johnson? What else? What are you going to do? When you boycott the election, what? For what? What you going to do? You have to give us an alternative. If we don't want, you tell the black or minorities not to vote, so what else are we going to do? What else? Because there's multiple issues affecting black that the Democrats are advocating. So tell black or minorities not to vote, that's a huge mistake and it is dangerous.
When are you going to boycott the United States government itself? When are you going to boycott that phony election system that they have in place that doesn't do anything for black people? When are you going?
So if the election system is phony, if it is not good, you do not boycott it. You have to be part of it and then try to change it. That's what you have to do. If you don't like it, you change it, but you do not boycott it. This is not a good strategy. That is wrong.
You're going to boycott that. When are you going to boycott that? That is the question. That is the question. Now, some of you who are politically uneducated and emotionally immature, you think that if you get rid of Trump, you have achieved something for black America. Well, I got news for you. I don't care who the president would have been, and I don't care who the president is going to be. Let me say this again. I don't care who the president would have been right now, and I don't care who the president is going to be next year. But guess what? The problems you have right now, you would still have them anyway. The problem.
That is not true. That is not true. You are absolutely wrong. There is a huge difference between Biden administration that we have currently and Trump. So Dr. UMAR Johnson, so imagine if Trump won this election, what would happen to minorities? So we don't say that. We're not supposed to say the Democrats are perfect. They're not. So where are you going to find somebody who's perfect? Are you perfect? I'm sure you're not. Nobody's perfect. Minorities, black, Afro Caribbean. We're not perfect. We have our own issues. So telling black or African American or minorities not to vote at all, to boycott the election, again, this is dangerous.
You have right now, you would still have them in.
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since
Okay, so basically, I just want to give my view, and I'm sure you listened to what Dr. UMAR Johnson was saying regarding voting. And this is somebody that I've been listening and watching, and some of his views are very, very interesting. And he's part of Pan-African group, and he's really fighting for black people. I understand that, but you cannot be too radical. This is a democracy. In a democracy, everyone has to involve, participate. So we're not gonna say that the Democrats are perfect, but among the two evils, we have to choose the lesser of two evils. That's all I want to say about that video about Dr. Umar Jensen, because in his views, I think he's doing a false equivalence between the Republicans and the Democrats. So, of course, you have those corporate Democrats, you have Democrats, some of Democrats that really support big money, but this is democracy. As minorities, what we have to do, we have to educate ourselves, we have to have knowledge in all field, not only in history. We need to have some mathematician, some biologists, computer scientists, and lawyers, and we need to have also people involved in politics. People involved in politics, even among black, you're gonna find some co-op black. That happens. So, and as an American, we cannot, say that the American government is not our government. It is our government, and it is our job to make it better. And the only way we have to make it better is to show up, is to participate, be part, and that's what all the other group does. Whether it's the Jews, the Italian, the Irish, they participate. They go to the military. They're part of the police. They educate themselves. But we have to do the same thing as well. But boycotting an election, that would be dangerous. This is my view. I just wanted to make that video regarding about or regarding Dr. Umar Jensen's views on voting.